I always love when you make the selection of cigars, and I don't know
What's
until I
gonna
get to the
be?
point that I'm sitting at the table. Like it's cigar
Wait,
roulette. It's very
Jeff is
nice to
giving
be
you
able
a
to do
look
that.
like, where the hell is mine?
It's over there, Jeff. I swear to
It's right
God.
here, actually. Here you go, Jeff. He had both of them right here. My apologies. I didn't pass it along.
Wow, Mike.
Hey, now it's legitimately cigar roulette for you because you didn't know until. So, by the way, I'm Jacob.
I'm Michael.
I'm Jeff.
Hefe.
Amy.
Miss Amy. This what the fuck?
Thanks for tuning in, fuckers.
What the fuck? Okay, business first. We're smoking The Endowment
Yay!
by Apostate, because April is for Apostate. This is one of my favorite offerings out of their grouping.
Yeah.
But they're all good, but this is one of my favorites. You can smoke this any time of day. It's a morning cigar, it's an evening cigar, it's a middle of the day cigar. And if you're like me, you smoke 12 cigars a day. So easy on the palate, nice and light on the draw.
I still do the novice thing where, like, after lighting, I turn and blow I blow to make sure that the cherry glows. Like, if I can't blow on it and the cherry doesn't glow, I'm like, it's not fully lit
It's
yet.
not so much a novice thing. It's actually, you're just checking
There
the
is some
checking the
science to
cherry.
it.
Yeah.
Because the last thing that I want to do is try to draw, and, like, I have cold spots here, and here.
Yeah, like you have half the cigar left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, aw. But, like, down here at Lowside Cigar Lounge, I have seen so many different walks of cigar smokers,
Yes.
from the novice all the way up to Matt,
Yes.
who is the owner. I mean, he'll talk you through cigars on different cuts, different
Exactly.
profiles, and things of that nature. I think he occasionally the only thing that I think that would perturb me in his position is sort of like the bartender special. Like, just pick one for me. Like, I don't know your palate.
I don't. Yeah.
Well,
It's
no,
one thing if
I
he
get that
has
a lot.
a database of what you've bought.
I get that a lot, actually, with first-time cigar smokers. Just pick me one. Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions now.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
What'd you eat last? How do you like your coffee?
Wow.
What type of drinks do you prefer?
Do you like dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Yeah.
Like, what's your favorite cocktail?
What's your favorite cocktail? Do you drink bourbon? Do you drink rye? Do you drink Irish
Like,
whiskey?
the
Scotch
girly
whiskey?
drinks? Yeah.
Do you are you more a vodka kind of person? Do you like gin?
Yeah.
Well, I asked you all about your palate.
Yeah.
To kind of give you an analog of where to go.
Yeah.
Do you vape? Do you smoke cigarettes? Do you smoke a pipe? All those different questions.
All of those things are valid questions when it comes to smoking cigars. So.
Yeah, because cigars are all about flavor.
And then the other thing to keep in mind, too, for people is kind of their physical stature. Because, like, for instance, you're not going to take a newcomer who's, got features like mine and give them a Gordo. It probably won't go so
right.
well.
The Vitola also matters.
A Gordo's a thick, fat one.
Thicker, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
They're
The ring gauges.
Amy,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if he had one, he would give it to you.
I know I would. I'm gonna start you out on a Toro or a Boosville.
But you don't want to be uncomfortable.
Exactly. I don't want you to hurt your jaw. I don't need you to get cocksucker's jaw. It's a valid workplace injury down at the brothel.
You can just imagine sitting there and being like,
workers comp for that.
you got cocksucker jaw. Like, ah,
Ibuprofen.
800 milligram, here you go.
See, that's
Take it down the hatch.
I now have a question. Can they get workers comp for that?
If they unionize, maybe, but the thing is that the way that they've been, from what I understand, is that they've been labeled as independent contractors.
Oh,
That's
okay.
one of the reasons why the step to unionization is so difficult for them.
Yeah.
Because they're going off of a precedence to unionize off the strippers out in California.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of, because once again,
Because the hookers never unionized before.
yeah. I look at it from a independent contractor aspect. If you are a true independent contractor, you can come and go whenever you want. That you're not on lockdown. You don't set the hours,
And you set the price.
and you
If you're
set
an
the
IC.
price.
Yeah.
You set all that. You know. So, sorry, I'm knee deep into this, trying to find out answers, and it
There
fucks
are-
the bejeebus out
Right
of me.
now, there are no answers. Is Fiore getting paid
It's-
or not?
It's fascinating just watching you do your research.
You know,
But I understand why it's taking so long.
we have
'cause-
multiple sources on each side. Some saying she's paid, some saying she's not, and
And
unfortunately,
they're all well known.
well-respected sources.
Therefore, we affirm the Commission's decision to suspend Judge Fiore with salary
Okay, so that is
directly
that
from the docket.
from the docket. Okay, so anything you're seeing is not that says she's being paid is
She's,
not
or she's not being paid. She's being withheld. Because that says with
right.
pay.
That she is not being paid is not true, according to the actual. Because that's what you're looking at right now. Is you're looking at the Supreme Court decision, the actual text of.
Yes, this is the actual text. This is directly in correlation to the docket 90650, which was the Commission's entered an order rescinding Judge Fiore's suspension without salary and suspending her with salary pursuant to the NRS. The argument that was there was Judge Fiore argues that the Commission abused its discretion by ordering the suspension, period, whether it was with or without pay. And from what it came out was, no, they were
were
within
within
their
their-
realm to suspend you from the bench.
Gotcha. And our sourcing on this is Find Law, which is kind of what lawyers, paralegals, etc. use
Mhm.
for case law. It's a database of case law. So our sourcing on this is pretty, ironclad would be a good word.
Mhm.
Okay, now you're done spinning.
Yeah, because that was pissing me off. Because the thing is that you and I tried to hold ourselves to a high standard
Exactly, of journalism.
of journalism, therefore direct. And this was literally to solve the debate.
Right.
Because
Absolutely.
we read this 3 days ago,
Right.
and you initially told me it was without pay,
Right, because I went to the RJ, the Review Journal, which was saying,
and
without
I
pay.
went to Courthouse News, and
which was saying with pay.
Courthouse News had it added as with salary, and then the next one that came in line was the Nevada Independent, which
Right.
you and I both
We
frequently read.
respect the independent.
So for that, I was just like, "Are you serious?" And then more stuff came out later,
Mhm.
so I didn't know if potentially
there
it
was new
got
information.
updated. But from the Supreme Court, it went through and said, "Hey, yep, we're upholding suspension with pay."
Yeah,
Because that did perturb me a little bit.
for you
He's fat
fuckers.
fingering it.
No, I was just checking comments while you were away.
John says hello.
Hi, Sean.
It's okay. I just was making sure. Because, like I say, we pride ourselves on primary sources. We go to the people involved.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's one of the reasons why I thoroughly enjoyed
Now,
being able to do the interview with so many candidates
because
running
we
for
can go
office.
straight to the horse's ass, or I mean, horse's mouth.
Are you calling our candidates?
No, Nathan was not a horse's ass. He was a great guy, but sometimes candidates are. We live out here in the desert. There are plenty of asses out here.
That's true.
They wander around the desert.
Well, you got to know the difference between a burro
At a burrow,
and a horse. So you take it from the horse's mouth, but if you're taking anything from an ass,
exactly.
At your own risk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ah,
Which, by the way, do not feed the horses. Do not feed the
don't
burros.
touch them.
Don't touch them.
Don't harass
be.
them.
Don't go up for a photo shoot. Don't do that shit.
But
Okay.
also don't try and encourage people to round them up because, quite frankly, they're here.
Also,
Just
don't be the
be
twat
smart.
waffle that approaches somebody watching from afar of the horses and start fucking questioning the shit out of them and putting them in interrogation mode. Like, what are you doing here?
I'm 25 yards away,
I'm
dude.
sitting in my car
sitting in
over
my
here on the
car.
street
I want a
watching them.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
In the Calvin Eye. It's not a big
Yeah,
deal.
don't step the hell over doing that.
Okay. On the locality.
I will say this then, on
Go ahead.
local, right quick,
Sure,
before we
absolutely.
end all this. What's our local newspaper?
The Birdcage Liner?
Oh yeah, that one.
Pahrump Valley Times.
Pahrump Valley Times.
You know what's good for?
The
Wiping my ass.
Well, it is good to find out certain things that are going on around town and things of that nature.
With an incredible liberal bent and particularly biases with
Biases
hide
towards
shit.
people who've been in town too long.
You know what I realized is that it's been 3 days since we first heard about the Supreme Court. Now, granted, this judgment was passed on Friday. It is now Tuesday. So we have Friday,
Well,
we have Saturday.
To be
Sunday,
fair, I think they only do
Monday,
an edition
Tuesday.
Wednesday and Friday.
But for something
So-
that's so big and so important,
And impacts us directly.
and they didn't put it on their website or anything.
But you know what they did do?
What?
They put her stickers on the front page.
Oh yeah.
And who knows? What we'll see tomorrow will probably be totally,
So I'm curious
Totally.
to see if
yeah.
that would
biased.
actually go through and do that.
So I have something local.
Okay.
And Sean, I'll get to what you had to say. That was one of my big hits today. You know how bad I hit the fire department.
Yes.
We are losing because of our stupidity, because of our failures, because of Chief Lewis,
Pahrump or the fire department itself?
the fire department itself.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify who you're
One
calling
of-
stupid, idiotic, and
PVFR.
Yes.
cool.
The former Ember goes to chief before that got absorbed. Our current deputy chief, the guy who pretty much runs the show when Scott Lewis hides himself in a fucking cave, like during the last flooding,
Oh, okay.
Richard Flanagan.
And definitely keeps the northern
Yeah, Richard keeps
Portion.
things very nice.
very.
Richard's leaving us.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Where's he going? Kokomo?
I don't remember what department he's going to, but he's leaving us for a different department.
Fuck.
So we're losing an incredible leader in that department who has been effectively running things when things go bad.
Yeah.
Now, what that does mean for us is we will have the emergency manager / fire chief / idiot in charge hiding in a cave when things go bad.
I thought it's not preparedness month. I thought that was later on in the year, but I guess we need to start kicking that off early.
Exactly. And the reason I can say that is being a scanner wonk, being the guy that tracks scanner traffic because of, dead people. During our last flooding, the only voice I heard on the radio in command was Flanagan. I did not hear Scott Lewis.
Are you talking about like on the Squawk Buck radio or like in a command center radio?
It all comes through the same radio trunk.
I understand.
Yes.
But you and I can
Yes,
tell the difference.
absolutely.
If it's coming from a Squawk Box.
Flanagan was in the emergency command center
Okay.
directing operations,
Okay.
which is what a chief should be doing.
Yeah. You don't need
Not
to be
running
out
to
there.
every fire and every auto accident
Mm-hmm.
and taking 45 minutes to get to a seizure.
Yeah.
There's fine.
Well, I got something else.
But Flanagan, you will be missed. What do you got?
Apparently there was a recently raised question about whether a proposal to provide eligible first responders about $300 per month in retention support.
Yes, and that got voted down by our illustrious BOCC, including you, fucking Ian Bain.
Cost approximately was $1 million over the 2-year spread.
Mm-hmm.
And it was voted down 3-2. Apparently Bain and Jabbar voted in favor.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Okay,
I
so-
withdraw my objection, Ian. I apologize.
Boscovich, well,
Bosco's bitch, Strickland,
and Koenig.
John. What the hell, John?
And well, the funny thing is that at the same, this is literally what I'm reading right now. They moved forward with a $500,000 for building lock replacements.
For what replacement?
Building lock replacements.
What? The fuck are we replacing?
The locks
The lock
on the
sets
government
on
buildings
For how much?
for $500,000, $460,000.
Sweetheart, I can
$1,000.
do that. Can I bid that process? Because I could bid that process at 100 G's and get them all done. And I'm not even a locksmith.
Do you realize how many building locks you have? I understand, we're used to the PA aspect, the deputy PA aspect. But then you got to go through, and that could be for the entirety of the detention center as well.
True. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that could spread not just
Objection
Pahrump,
withdrawn.
but all of Nye County.
Objection
And
withdrawn.
it's every office, you know. You got the recorder's office, you got the treasurer, you got all the offices.
I withdraw my objection and go with what you had to go with.
Although I did love the comment that was put in here, which was, of course, we'd have money if we stopped trying to throw it at a fairground
Bingo.
for one Deborah Strickland.
Which would I rather have? Updated locks
Or a fairground that nobody's going to use.
or a useless fairground?
I am going to address something.
Hello, William. I'll acknowledge you right quick. It just popped up.
Oh, William who?
Hochstetler.
Oh, Bill.
Bill.
How you doing, Bill? So people are bitching about the technology stuff that the sheriff's department.
Once again, came in via grant, and
Exactly that.
it's updated. Okay, cool. Once again, we have said this last time.
Did we? Did I forget?
Yes.
Okay.
That
Sorry.
We were happy with what they put it towards versus buying something at discount that would double
Right.
they'd have to double their maintenance.
And this is stuff that the guys in the front line are going to use. Unlike PVFRS that has thermal and doesn't use it.
Might know where it's going to rekindle.
Hey,
If you
just
use
saying.
it.
I just had to explain that because the high winds that we had, I was explaining to my daughter the dangers of burning when you have wind conditions.
Mhm.
Because although everything could look out, there could still be embers underneath. The wind hits
Right.
it,
And
and now
It'll
it
just-
rekindles everything else up.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
So on days that you have safe burns or anything else like that, when you're looking at that,
Sub 5 mile an hour winds, please and thank you, boys and girls.
flame,
Yeah.
and then it goes down to embers,
And that it's hot.
and then you
Still
still have
stuff.
hot stuff, which could potentially rekindle.
Exactly. Yeah, it could blow
And-
up to an ember.
How to properly put out a fire.
Soak it, stir it,
Soak it, stir it,
Yep.
mix it,
mix it, soak it again.
soak it again, repeat, recur. I mean, it's like putting in conditioner in your hair.
Exactly. the-
Mike wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know. God dang it!
Hey, if you condition the beard,
I do actually.
it's important to go through and do that.
I do have a gripe on that one though.
Okay.
The endless conditioner loop.
Okay.
As a former programmer, there's an endless conditioner loop.
Oh, okay.
Because if you read the directions and follow the directions, you're supposed to apply, rub it in, rinse, repeat. So you go back to the beginning,
Until desired.
And then you
state.
read all the way to repeat again.
and then you read all the way to repeat, and it sends you back to the beginning. It's an endless loop.
It requires you to have.
Repeat until desired.
No, most
condition.
people say just repeat.
I know.
I know, but
Yes, it's poorly programmed.
That way the sheep will run through an entire bottle the first time they use it.
Exactly. And then they have to go back to Walmart, and they're
Unless you have if you have super soft water, I understand because you never know when the soap, the conditioner, or anything else is out because you're just like, my hair is so soft.
it's silky smooth. And speaking of hair, I want to throw a shout out to my barber, Ashley.
Yep.
Down there at Pahrump Valley Barbershop. She does all my beard work, shaves my head, does a great job by appointment only. Give her a buzz down at Pahrump Valley Barbershop. I love that girl.
I appreciate her. She does a phenomenal haircut and everything else. It's just me. I'm always
You're
on that.
frugal.
Well, no, I'm also on a 24-hour time period where
Yeah.
I'm like,
Mm.
I need my haircut. I need my haircut now.
I have
Right.
a show
And
coming
then
up, and it just
every time that I go to book an appointment, it goes today is unavailable.
Right.
Tomorrow is
She's a
unavailable.
busy
The next
lady.
day,
She's
unavailable.
a busy lady. So if you're going to go down there, book ahead. Other things in local.
before you go on, Sean's comment: if you go to brothels, you can burn in any condition.
I don't know. I've done the tour of the brothels a couple
It's
of
pretty
times.
freaking clean, man.
They're, really clean. Like at one, there's the sign that condoms must be used during all sexual activity, and I'm like, so
Does that
does she
include
put it on
Jewish
her
work?
finger if I'm asking her to reach my G spot?
Does that include Jewish foreplay?
What?
2 hours of begging?
What?
Jewish foreplay, 2 hours of begging.
All I have
He
to say
seems
is
like he
I can
knows about
understand having a condom on if all of a
Oh,
sudden
yeah.
you're doing Amish porn, because if they jizz in their pants, it still makes a mess.
Exactly.
Okay.
So-
What else do you have for local?
I'm thinking here for
We got
just a
proof right
second. Just thinking here. We haven't had any major calls on the scanner lately, which has been nice. Yeah, I'm not complaining. We haven't had another drive-by, so that suspect is still in the wind.
As
Um,
well as we have another motorcyclist that's in the wind. This time, instead of a green motorcycle,
not a green one?
Say,
it's a
what's
black one. Apparently, the person had a white backpack on.
Oh, that one, yeah, the one I was
was
tracking.
this person damaging their suspension, or was this person of?
I don't know. I just
They ran.
I saw it. They
Just
came
remember
in
the
town. They were doing high rates of speed, and then they decided to head back that
Flip
way
the and go back to Vegas.
and go back to Vegas. Which I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, y'all motherfuckers are so screwed if they create a speed hump or a speed bump coming into Pahrump. And just, you could imagine,
it.
like, you're
Yeah.
leaving Pahrump, and they're like, speed bump or speed dip for drainage purposes. 'Cause
Yes,
we know
for
that we have
drainage.
flooding out
We need
here.
drainage.
And you just see somebody end over end launch themselves on a motorcycle because they're deciding to go high rate of speed, or that. This is one of the reasons why I'm kind of in favor if they want to put in another roundabout up there by is it Mans? If they put that up there for the casino area, due to the factor of I get exhausted from trying to go into Vegas and make that right. I see people coming, and I have to approximate their speed at 55
And guess where
to
they're going to be?
65
Yeah.
miles an hour.
Yeah.
55. You're being generous.
Several seconds.
80. Well, yes, some of them are exceeding the speed limit, and then make that turn and go from dead stop because there's no merge lane right there, and just haul ass as fast as I can
to get
before
up to.
they're starting to flash their high beams at me. To be like, you pulled out in front of me, like
Where else am I
you were
supposed
all
to
the way
go?
down by the racetrack, you asshole.
Yeah. And if I see somebody turning out and I'm far enough back, I generally coast.
Yeah, slow down a little.
I generally lay off and coast to let them have time to get up to speed if I can.
Yep.
That doesn't cost me any money. I'm not wasting my gas if I'm coasting.
Well, if I recall correctly, it is a 65 mile an hour zone out
It
there
is.
because it's just beyond the racetrack. and it
Everything
jumps
past
from
Mountain Springs.
55 up to 65, which is funny because you're going downhill into the racetrack and it's 55. Then you go try to go uphill and now it's 65. Yeah. Lots of fun.
Try something regional.
All right, go ahead.
Okay? And this is good news. I like good news.
All right.
The Fifth Circuit Court out of Louisiana just vacated a 158-year-old law as being unconstitutional.
Okay.
This is a Reconstruction era law put in place to punish the South. It's unconstitutional. It was a federal prohibition on home distilling.
Oh.
If up to this point, you could distill water.
Okay.
You could distill alcohol for fuel. You could distill alcohol for medical uses, but you couldn't drink it.
Okay.
If you were drinking it, you were violating federal law.
Okay.
They have vacated that as being unconstitutional and inconsistent with the United States history.
Yeah.
Proof? I like proof of about 90. So this is great news for home distillers, home brewers that want to get into distilling. People are looking at the cost of alcohol and saying, I could do better for cheaper.
Yeah.
Just don't go blind doing it.
Yeah.
Mind your heads and tails.
Uh-huh.
Watch a couple of videos on YouTube. Get a book.
Watch a couple.
Learn.
Learn. Do your research.
Do your research. Know what you're doing when you're doing
That's
it.
one of the things that we pride ourselves on is we're like, yo, don't take our word for it.
Yeah,
Research it.
go out and research.
Go look at it. We try to give sources, unless they're confidential.
Absolutely. And I will go to prison for that.
Mm-hmm.
Other things going on U.S. national wise, we've had It's murder season.
Really? Is that because people are actually able to come out of their houses?
Yes.
Because there's not snow on the ground?
Exactly. It's murder season.
It's hard to run away when you're on black ice. You're like,
Yeah.
fuck.
We had an interesting case today out of Ohio
Okay.
of an attempted kidnapping of a 3-year-old,
Oh.
which got resolved kinetically in the parking lot.
Kinetically.
Good job, officers, for taking her out. Well, she was wielding a large knife and slashing at the 3-year-old, so fucking shoot her.
She was slashing
Yeah.
the 3-year-old?
Fucking shoot her.
Usually when people steal 3-year-olds, it's not to hurt them, it's because there's a custody.
No, this was a non-custodial.
Oh my gosh.
So, again, follow the general advice of stay strapped or get clapped.
I never liked that one, man.
No?
No, because, like, I grew up in the era where all of a sudden you're like, yo, I clapped that. That meant that you banged it. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I was like, dude, if I have to carry a gun so that way someone doesn't try to fuck me, I was like, granted, there's the duality of fuck. There's the physical fornication,
and then
and
there
then
is
there's
the...
somebody's trying to
Okay.
fuck me over, fuck with me.
So how about this one?
Okay.
Papo. Fuck around, find out. Is that better? Do you feel better with that
Yes,
one?
but that's also the reason why so many guys in the or so many guys in the military find out that their urethra burns when they urinate because they fucked around and now they found out
Speaking of fucking
exactly
around,
what STDs you can pick up.
speaking of fucking around, this is international. Pakistan. Fascinating case in Pakistan. Fascinating. So, this guy rapes a young lady. Is found guilty. You know what his punishment is?
Castration and pineapple at the bunghole?
No.
No, because pineapples are expensive over there.
No. And this is the barbarism of that particular area.
Okay.
The punishment is going to be, as handed down by the judge, the brother of the young lady he raped gets to rape his sister.
What?
That's backwards.
Muslim court?
Yes,
Mm,
Sharia.
Sharia. Okay.
And this is the reason, Jacob, that I like our system of justice.
Well, I mean, it's a lot better. Like, are they still going to proceed with an honor killing?
Or both of them, yes.
Fuck, dude. Yeah, now I understand where it's like, yeah, we're literally going to allow this person to fornicate with your sister so that way you have to kill your sister because now they have to kill her.
Yes, exactly. Backward.
Because they couldn't have him fornicated because that would be
Gay.
And they have a lot more problems. there.
homosexuality.
Yeah.
Yes, we can't do that.
And that's against it unless,
It's little boys.
apparently, allegedly.
So, that's something fascinating on the international. We have an interesting case nationally, and this is bothering some people.
Okay.
And unless you know your history, you're kind of like, what the fuck is that?
I'm constantly, what the fuck is that?
So Trump has alluded to and talked about forcing Leo, an American citizen, to reside here instead of the Vatican. And has invoked the Albigensian papacy.
Huh.
Now, this is way, way back. We have popes, anti-popes, the other anti-pope over there, the Medicis, so Renaissance era, where the Emperor of France forcibly relocated the Pope from the Vatican to Avignon
Okay.
and kept him under control there. Well, this has obviously pissed off the Catholics.
He's our pope, not your pope. Yeah.
Exactly. He's our Pope, not your Pope. He's a head of state. But the Trump administration has
Yeah,
no problem
religion
kidnapping.
trumps your
Has
nationality.
no problem kidnapping foreign heads of state.
Tactically acquisition.
Tactical acquisition of foreign heads of state. This tension between the papacy and a nation state has not happened since World War II.
You know what I'm sitting there and going?
Hmm.
Is there a law in the Vatican to sit there and state that the Pope is supposed to be
Yes,
Rome?
absolutely there is.
Rules. Hey, First Amendment, eat a dick. stop doing that shit. Stop sitting there and saying that, oh, because he's an American citizen, he has to reside in America. I can
Correct.
understand. Hey,
He's got to
visit
pay
once or twice.
He's got to pay American taxes.
Okay. But if you're going to sit there and say that, oh, you have to do this, like
Yeah.
religion.
And I hate to say it.
How many
Hate to say it,
American
and this
citizens live
is
abroad? Quite a
nothing
few.
against U.S. Spec Ops.
What?
Nothing against
Don't
U.S.
try to kidnap that motherfucker. Don't try to nab him. Don't try tactical acquisitions.
Don't go against the Vatican. Yeah.
The Swiss Guard is no one to fuck with. They may wear funky uniforms.
Fuck around, find out.
They
Yeah.
may wear
No.
funky uniforms, carry halberds. But they are also one of the.
Can you imagine being Spec Ops and being taken out by a halberd? Like, you got taken out by a medieval weapon. Like, if they literally sat through and they were like, no gunshots. And they were like, crossbows? Crossbows are allowed. Like,
The current Swiss generation of Swiss Guard is some of the finest trained personal security in existence.
so you're saying the Swiss can turn you into Swiss cheese?
Pretty much. You got to remember, these are the guys. They draw their legacy from the original Swiss Guard, the 189 Swiss Guardsmen that defended Clement. I think it was Clement against the forces of the Holy Roman Emperor, which was neither holy nor Roman nor an empire, when they sacked Rome, when they didn't get paid.
Mm.
And these are the guys that literally 140 something of them held off like 10,000
Oh, wow.
at that point. So yeah, don't fuck around. And the problem that Trump is running into on this, on a national scale, is he had a groundswelling of support amongst Hispanic Catholics during his election.
Ooh. Okay.
And they have been supporting him all through the ICE operation because they're legal immigrants and they're here legally. They went through the front door. They are very anti-legal immigrant in that community.
Yeah, I would be pissed off too if all of a sudden I'm sitting there and I worked hard for all my money and then somebody came and snatched all my money and it was like, yo, discourse, like this is my money. And then they were like, no,
I came in through the front door. I went through the process. I filed all my paperwork. I paid my fees. I did all that. Did all that the right
you
way.
did your dues.
Well, currently that support went from 70% to less than 30%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, screwing around with heads of religions. I mean, if it's a cult, you know that they're going to drink the Kool-Aid.
Yes.
Well, we now know that they're going to drink the
It was
Kool-Aid.
Flavor Aid, okay? Don't give Kool-Aid a bad name, man. Flavor Aid.
Okay, it was Flavor Aid.
They went with the 49-cent, not the 69-cent.
Okay. I think it's $1 a packet now.
Yeah, I know it is.
A bitch.
So we got that going.
Okay.
We have California losing a member of the House. He has stepped down. Stalwell has stepped down
Okay.
because he was fucking one of the staff members. And now an additional 5 women have come forward saying that he has been a sexual predator the entire time. Now, we also lost a member of the House out of Texas for, guess what? The same shit. It's almost like these members of the House go to an island someplace.
Well, they used to, and now they're
Now they have to find a different
yeah.
methodology of satisfying their lustful urges.
So they look closer to home.
Either that or you think that you're high enough on the food chain that everything else below you is edible.
True. Very true.
Whether you work with it or not, and then you use your position to cover it up or to hide it or to do that. I think somebody actually brought up a bill that was literally the disclosure of hush money.
Mm-hmm. And it got voted down almost
And it
unanimously.
got voted down almost. Like,
Oh, hell no.
could you imagine
No,
being
we
like,
can't have that.
hey, here's your like, here is all of this, and like, you have to do the notice of release of debt,
Yeah.
but you actually had to list
Well,
hush money and who it went to?
Technically, the individual receiving the hush money is required to report that
Income.
as income on their 1040 under Section 8, the illegal monies.
Is it
I'm sure
legal
that they all
monies,
do,
or are they going through and using it as arbitration, where it's outside of the court, but led under an NDA and having to say it's that way? It's not necessarily illegal.
It's not necessarily illegal, but it's other income.
It's other
That would be Section 7,
so they'd have
other
to,
income.
so they'd have to file like a 1099.
Right.
Okay. We are not bankers. We are not lawyers. We
Do
are
not
not
take
any of that.
tax day tomorrow. Do not take
We are
advice
not
from
ta-
them.
Do not take tax advice from us. Look in. Tax day is tomorrow, isn't
It
it?
is tomorrow. That's why I was going that way.
Good. Make sure
So I can
to
finally stop seeing the goddamn
file your
turbo tax.
taxes.
The turbo tax
File your
commercial.
taxes. File your taxes.
because that's the thing that brought down Capone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
tax
couldn't
evasion.
try him to murder or anything else like that. They just
But
went,
not him for
hey,
tax evasion.
you didn't.
Even the freaking Joker won't mess with the IRS.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you appropriately file your taxation.
Well, because what is it? The federal treasury is not federal.
Federal Reserve is not federal.
The
Nor
Federal
does it
Reserve
have
is-
any reserves.
Yeah. And then
Speaking of that, the French have pulled all of their gold reserves from American banks.
really,
Yes, all of it. 100% gone.
okay.
Back to France.
How much was it?
Wow.
19 billion?
Oh, I thought it was like
Oh,
350.
sorry, 19 trillion. $19 trillion in gold
Oh, okay.
withdrawn from U.S. Depositories.
Wow.
Um,
They didn't want it to get mixed in.
it represents the shift in European policy away from the post-war era, where America was their protector and guarantor.
I thought it was more like they're off coast island.
The French really don't have one of those anymore.
No, that's what I meant.
That's
It's
why
like
we were it.
Yeah, effectively we were it.
England, France, Spain, a lot of those countries were like, hey,
They had
If for some
territories and
reason-
stuff, and yeah.
the
The Russians,
East
the
moves
Russians,
west.
the Russians.
Russians, Germans, or anything else like that actually go through and take over our territory. Our
They have
gold
Is
things
safe
in the
in
is
America.
safe in
Caribbean,
America,
yeah,
so that way, if we are
exactly.
able to retake it,
We have our
Good.
gold reserves.
We have our
to be
gold
able
reserve. If we are unable to retake it, then our enemy does not get our gold
to-
reserve.
Exactly.
Yep.
Blockade.
Dude,
Curse it, oh grab me.
dude, I am laughing my ass off at that. When I
Remember
heard-
that Bruce? Blockade your back. True Bruce blockade. Best blockade ever. China wishes they had a blockade like this.
Oh, the fact that like they're sitting there and like, we'll blockade you because you're allowing people through that are paying the fee to you, and we don't want them to pay the fee to pay you. So, what are you gonna do? Is this one of those things where you're like traveling through the backwoods where you're like, here you go, here's your lump, now let me pass.
So this blockade is going to cause some significant international tension.
Oh yeah,
Primarily because the majority of Chinese oil transit that area.
Mhm.
If we are stopping
which is
all
really
the
funny
ships-
because they've been saying that only 20% of oil travels through that area,
But-
and I'm like,
20% global.
I understand 20% of global, but is that full? Is like 18% of that going to Asia?
A lot of it, yes, because Iran is part of the BRICS with the Chinese, the Russians, etc. So what happens when a Chinese tanker tries to run that blockade?
Mm.
Is the U.S. going to interdict them? Winnie the Pooh has said that he will fire on us if we try to interdict Chinese tankers.
Okay.
The Iranians have said they will fire on any ship that doesn't pay the toll.
Okay.
The United States has said we're going to stop any ship that does pay the toll.
What money is BRICS using?
BRICS is using their own independent currencies.
Okay. Have you seen a drop in their value?
No, the yuan is still doing very well. The rupee does what it does. The ruble is in the shitter. The dinar, or whatever Iran uses, is valueless. Now, this could see a resurgence in the fighting over there
Mm-hmm.
because this ceasefire the clock is ticking.
Yeah.
It's a 2-week ceasefire,
Mm-hmm.
Which has been repeatedly violated.
Yep.
The clock is ticking. Vance is over in Pakistan trying to negotiate this thing.
Yep.
The Iranians have put their red line demands are exactly the opposite of the United States' red line demands,
Yep.
and neither side looks like they're budging.
Yep.
The Israelis,
Although that it is proving difficult due to the factor of translations because there are different words for different things. As you try to translate that, as I have learned from some of my Hispanic friends, they're like, it doesn't translate to English. The closest thing is this. And then you go, oh, yeah.
the Israelis continue to engage with Lebanon, which is a bright line for the Iranians. They continue to bomb. They continue to move forward. They have issued additional evacuation orders to Lebanese civilians. Get the hell out, because we're going to blow the shit up.
Mm-hmm.
So that continues to be an extremely hot place.
Sean says, reminds me of the bellboy in that movie for a few dollars more.
Exactly. Now, I do have to say that I'm making money on this
Okay.
because these large Bitcoin transactions
Ah.
have to move through the Bitcoin network,
Oh.
which means Bitcoin value is going up,
Okay.
as is the availability of mining, because each one of these transactions, there's a fee scraped off,
Okay.
a percentage fee,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a considerable amount of money available on that network. Just,
So it's once again, who's getting the scraping?
I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, that's the reason why, like, U.S. coins are, we went through and actually added ridges to some of them, so that way you
They're
could
ridges
not
for your pleasure.
scrape
Particularly
to,
the silver coins.
to take off the
Right.
silver portions of that because it's devaluing the coin. Because they have seen in past empires that had
Yes.
they printed with gold when they were running low on gold, they trimmed the edges
Yes.
and then smelted that into new coins. So someone's getting the trimmings.
Someone is.
And yeah. This
No good. No good. Internationally, the wars in Africa continue
okay.
and have gotten hotter. Particularly in
Is
that
that because
Safari.
it's summer?
Yes. Particularly in that
Well,
Safari.
actually, in Africa, it's going the other direction.
No. Central Africa.
Central Africa is below the equator, isn't it?
It's always hot. The Safari region, which we've talked about before. That,
Yeah, their seasons are wet and dry, not hot and cold.
and there's another war I want to bring up. African war. Fascinating African wars. I love African wars because they're far away from me.
Actually, see that?
The area we're talking about is just north of the equator.
Yeah, because the equator splits Africa pretty cleanly through Gabon, Republic of Congo, Democratic Republic
Yeah,
of
we're
Congo,
looking at that little portion of Africa that kind of hangs out into the Atlantic.
Uganda,
It's the
Kenya.
Sahara region, which we talked about in the past. Niger, Nigeria, Chad, and Liberia.
Yep.
So
So those are all on the same, pretty much the same as going in.
the Caribbean.
No, I'm
No,
I'm
further
looking
south,
more
I
along
think.
the lines of they're between the Tropic of Cancer
Yeah.
and the Tenerife.
Sure.
So the vast majority of them are right in that sweet spot.
They're tropical.
Yes,
I believe
Yes.
this is tropical Africa, not
Yes.
desert Africa, and not savanna Africa.
Far south, yeah.
Now, there's a war I want to talk about.
Okay.
What's going on in Africa? Been going on for 10 years.
All right.
Received almost no publicity whatsoever.
Okay.
The Great African Chimp War.
Chimp war?
The fuck?
Okay. The Great African Chimp War.
Like I've heard of what is it? The
Guerrilla warfare?
I've heard
This
of
is
guerrilla
chimp warfare.
warfare,
Which is
and I've heard of like the
spelled
battle of like what was it? The Battle of the Birds. I can't remember if it was the E1 or the ostrich.
The Emu Wars.
The Emu Wars down in what was that? Was
Australia.
Yeah.
So there has been an ongoing civil war throughout the Central Africa.
They call it the fucking Battle of the Chimps.
Yes. You know why?
Why?
Because there's two groups, about 300 chimpanzees each.
Literally chimps.
Literally
Okay.
chimps.
Okay. All right.
And they have been at war with each other over the killing of an alpha for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And this
So-
war is just starting to heat up again.
So there are no people.
There are no
Fighting.
people involved.
Okay.
This is true guerrilla warfare.
Well, chimps are
Chimp
not
warfare.
gorillas.
They're not.
I did
That we
find
know
out.
of. That
I
we
did
know
find
of.
out.
Chimps have a very complex society.
Yes.
I did find out that someone sitting there and saying you're hung like a gorilla is actually an insult.
Yeah, it's gorillas are very small people.
So if someone sat there and said you're hung like King Kong, it's kind of.
But these chimps have been killing each other. We have had the first major battle in this civil war in the last few weeks, and 20 chimps have been found ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
To shreds, you say? By
Protein
each
is
other.
protein, I guess.
No,
They
they're
didn't
not
eat 'em?
eating them.
They're just biting.
They're killing them
Okay.
with tools,
Really?
rocks and sticks.
Wow.
So when they kill their own kind, they do not eat their own kind.
No, they do not. This is a true
Okay.
war of another primate species going on as right now.
I bet it's being reported in the scientific community.
Oh,
but not
absolutely.
in
It
the
is
general
all over the
populace.
scientific community.
Okay.
The sociologists, the anthropologists, the
Yep.
exactly.
Oh,
Only
okay.
second time, and that was actually a previous iteration of this current civil war.
Wow.
See, Jane Goodall was holding the peace, but she's no longer.
It's no longer all good.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
So the British
have always been holding
did
peace.
is they drew artificial lines in the middle of the Congo to separate these chimps.
Horrible.
Exactly. It's all the British fault.
Oh wow.
All the British fault. World War One.
If they start wearing helmets and armbands, I'm going to get worried.
Well,
Planet of the Apes.
I do have a little bit more national news.
What do you got?
So you know how a lot of schools have gone through and said, "Hey, we're gonna do voluntary no phone, whatnot," except for Pahrump Valley
With
High School because
Forcibly
you
no
don't-
phones.
Well, it's sort of
basically
forcibly
set
no
up a-
phone. It's still on the honor system, but you can't really use your phone anyways.
Because they
there
Because
it's like
interfered
the
with
signal
it,
is
yeah.
bad to non-existent.
I'm
there.
saying that they're jamming it, but that's illegal.
I've been to events there, and yeah, there's something
Yeah,
not right.
every event that I've been there for, like, hey, sign this up, they actually put a guest password on their Wi-Fi so you can use Wi-Fi because they understand cell phone
Really?
signal doesn't work there. Yes.
Wow.
So, but in the non-voluntary aspect, these are the people who create the bags that are Faraday cages so that way students cannot use it at the end of the day. They
You
walk
get
through just like they're walking out of Walmart and bleep, it unlocks the bag. They put the bag in the bin or whatever. They've seen improvement in their students.
Really? That's good to hear.
Apparently, 98% of administrators reported an increase to peer-to-peer student interactions in lunchrooms. You mean when they're not doing this,
They're actually talking?
they're actually communicating
Yeah.
back and forth?
My question on that peer-to-peer interaction is it positive peer-to-peer interaction?
Don't know.
Because
True.
I can have a peer-to-peer interaction,
And be
and I can be
bullying.
discussing your rights and the left's.
Yep.
Mhm. 75% report increased peer-to-peer interactions in the hallway. 80% report fewer behavioral incidents
Okay.
over the course
Okay,
of the
that-
year.
Actually.
Because the interaction in the hallway could be stuffing the nerd in the locker.
This is a
Or
good
could
one.
be asking a girl out on a date. You don't know.
This is a good one. 89% report that teachers are happier in phone-free schools, which I can understand. It's already hard enough to grab the attention of teenagers and youngsters and things of that nature. But yeah, like we didn't,
Yeah, we
didn't
didn't
have
grow
phones.
up with that. You couldn't.
dude.
There were
Yeah.
no phones.
The most
no
that I
phones,
saw
right.
when I was in school was one person having a pager. Okay,
That was the drug dealer.
I don't know if that was the drug dealer
Or
or
hooker.
potentially that kid was potentially a future MD and he had to get his pages in so that way he could go to his clinicals. I don't know.
Whatever.
But that was one of those things where I was like, wow, okay, because I always look at the generational differences that we have. Okay? I was born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s. You were born in
The 80s.
80s.
Early 80s.
Early 80s. So you had some time growing up in the late 80s.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, because
He was in
I do
elementary.
believe you are 5 years older than us.
Yes. Yes.
But going through school, you didn't have a device in your hand. I was discussing this with my kids the other day. For
What
us to do a
define
book report,
device?
huh?
Define a device.
Okay, maybe you had a Game Boy.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Self-made fleshlight. Okay, I understand. But like sitting there and saying, okay, we had to do a book report.
Right.
We actually had to usually.
Read the book.
Well, no.
Or the
Where did you
flip
get the
notes.
book from?
The library.
The library.
The library, either at the school or you had to go to a public library to go get the book.
Which, by the way, our public library here offers a tremendous amount of services
Good.
for the student, for the
Yep.
reader. We even offer large print books.
And if we don't
Audio
have the
books.
book, we have interlibrary loans.
Mm-hmm.
Get it from someplace else.
So it was interesting in that aspect because we had to go back all the way to sitting there and saying, you were lucky if you had a set of encyclopedias that was less than 3 years old in your household.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I remember growing up and reading when my 1989 encyclopedia set. There's a reason why there's new books that are pushed out
Yes.
all the freaking time is because there's constant updates and things of that nature.
Science, science has discovered new things. Yeah.
Exactly. I could only
Pluto's a
imagine.
planet, not a
Yeah.
planet, what have you. Yeah.
I could only imagine that. Like you go in and you're like, here's my solar system, and
They're
they're
like-
like,
Pluto's not a planet.
Pluto isn't a planet. It's actually smaller than like the moon. And they're like, what?
And
like,
Mom.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course Jupiter has a moon that's larger than Pluto.
Yeah.
Right. They just discovered 10 new moons on Jupiter.
Really?
Yeah. And new ones.
Wow. And they're still finding hemorrhoids on Uranus.
Exactly.
But it's interesting to see how restricting a cellular device in a school has actually improved communications amongst students as well as happiness, which is not a factor that I'd normally accumulate to just,
Yeah.
are you happier that there's no cell phones?
Although I know if
for
somebody
teachers.
took my cell phone away during my work day, I would be much happier.
But it's interesting to see this as a development for student education because I see a lot of us old heads were like, back in my day, we didn't have cellular devices.
No.
We didn't have this. And I also notice it in my own children when I'm sitting there and saying, how are you communicating with said person? Because I recently had a thing. I was like, do you have their cell phone number? No. How do you contact them?
How do you know how to get to their
Through
house? Yeah.
discourse. And I was like, So once again, it's not something that you can leave a message on or something of that nature. You have to go through and have that communication piece. And it's like, And then this is one of those things where the Gen Z workforce is coming in and they're seeing a unusually high attrition rate through it because confrontations, they usually shut down. And so Gen Z has a higher attrition rate and literally large corporations are saying cost of doing business.
Mhm.
That's it. They're not doing it as upfront, like, hey, we're going to have communication in here. Some of it might be a little bit negative towards you, but we're trying to improve you to reset that clock. They're just going, good, if you want to leave, sayonara.
But yeah, difficult conversations are
Mm-hmm.
a fact of.
Oh, we had,
Working world.
like, all of us had difficult conversations in high school
Yeah.
because you had to look the person in the eye to call them whatever you were going to call them. And if not, you were saying it to this person, that person overheard, told that person, and
Oh, yeah.
that person.
And then you had
brought
an even
forth
more
the
difficult conversation. I heard you said.
Yeah, I heard you said this about my mama, motherfucker. Yeah. So it's interesting to see in these schools where they're actually mandating the Faraday cages on the cellular devices to keep them locked during the school day.
I wonder if we're seeing that kind of improvement here
with,
with the voluntary.
with the voluntary, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if the Nye County School District would actually publish said, or if they've done anything for that.
Right, any sociological research on it.
Well, because they've done. That's the reason why Pahrump Valley High School is one of the only schools. I do believe it's the only high school in Nye County that actually has a 5-day, while the rest of
That's
them all
correct.
have 4 days.
Beatty and Beatty and Tonopah have gone. They went there during the pandemic and stayed there for. And I think a lot of it's financial.
Mhm.
You know. Yeah.
So I'm just curious in that aspect on how it is. Like you said, how does it affect here locally? There have been times that cool, whatever. But for the vast report that I'm getting is that the vast majority of them are just like, okay, cool. Find that one spot, text it in, drop it in, so that way it's out of sight, out of mind. Yeah. It would be interesting to see how the rest of Nye County is doing, as well as Pahrump Valley High School.
I will say, even though I support communication in schools, group projects are stupid.
No, group projects are not stupid. Group projects are intended to introduce you to the fact that everybody out there is going to let you the fuck down and you need to do it yourself.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Or they're just not going to do it well enough and you're going to wish you'd done it yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
It does teach social and
One
fear
last
that
thing.
way.
What? How do you feel about cigar?
I think you said it best. This could be a morning smoke, a lunch smoke, a dinner smoke. It is very pleasant. I believe it or not, this right here, as it self-corrected its overburn. I did not have to retouch. I did not have to relight. Been smoking it the entire time.
Miss Amy.
Likewise. I agree with the ability to smoke this at any hour. This is my second favorite of the apostate line. Yeah. And it was,
Hey, say the name with some respect.
That is respectful. That's an
Hateful.
inside fucking joke.
I am wearing
But you're saying it outside of the circle.
exactly. I am wearing
the
their
circle's
t-shirts
actually
today.
listening to us right now. Jeff, how do you feel?
It is kind of right down the middle of everything. Goldilocks.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, nice. I like it.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree. This is my favorite of the apostate line. It is that Goldilocks cigar that is not too dark, it's not too light.
And it pairs with just
it
about
pairs with any
anything you're
whiskey I want to drink.
Yep.
And Brandon Kendrick make an awesome product. And by the way, they'll be down here.
When?
When's the 3-year?
the 25th of April, a
The
week from
25th of
Saturday.
April. So a week from Saturday, they will be here in person to celebrate 3 years of Low Side Cigar Lounge.
Nice.
So come on down, raffles.
And isn't their home base in Salt Lake City, Utah?
It is.
Beehive.
Beehive
Beehive.
cigars, yes.
Just
So-
in case you're passing through or anything else like that.
Go see him.
Who knows? I understand that we're predominantly, here in the state, but
Yep.
we do have listeners from around the country. So
And
I
around
can
the world.
say their cigar shop, I guarantee their cigar lounge will be open this week, but they will not be there because they are at PCA this week, the cigar convention in New Orleans.
Ooh.
In a non-smoking state, which makes no fucking sense.
What?
You can't smoke inside. You can't smoke on the fucking street.
Yeah, like Bourbon Street, they set up
Designated smoking areas.
smoking tables and what have you. Yeah.
Makes no fucking sense.
Fuck.
The fuck?
See, I love traveling around the world and learning new things, but there's certain things that I'm like, I know if I move away from here, there is not going to be an area where I can purchase, let alone consume alcohol 24/7, 365.
Well, this is a lot like having a booze convention, like Bar X.
In
Dry
Salt Lake
Valley.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that,
I'm Jacob.
I'm Michael.
Jeff.
Amy.
We'll see you on Saturday. Thanks for tuning in.